Well, hello everybody. How goes the Monday? It goes here, I suppose. Judge Judy Slayer, thank you for the follow. How are you today? I'm a pro streamer. I forgot to throw up starting soon, but it is what it is. Today, after what, 30 some odd days of actual stream time, we've done A Realm Reborn, The Coils, Heavensward, Alexander, Stormblood, Omega, and now today's the day that we start New Game Plus Shadowbringers. Ooh boy. I've been waiting on this for a hot minute. I'm not gonna lie. Without further ado, allow me, your resident Derplander, Linkus, to start the journey. As we just casually chill in a vacant seat. Part 1 of Shadowbringers. Alamago is at last free from Imperial rule, but that liberty may prove fleeting as the Empire moves to both reclaim this bloody nation and subjugate all of Eorzea. In their hour of need, however, they cannot turn to the Warrior of Light, nor to the Scions who yet slumber, their souls adrift. The realm is left to struggle without its saviors, for they have been beckoned beyond time and space, beckoned to the first. Well, hello, small child. I didn't expect you to be here. Getting actual legit chills from this. Good news, Linkus. We've had a stroke of luck in our search for that beacon. Apparently, our colleagues have stumbled across a hidden path leading down into the hollows around the base of the Crystal Tower. A path I doubt we'd ever have found had the Ironworks and the Suns not added their numbers to the party. Thanks to them, we have eager eyes aplenty down there, checking under rocks and peering into every nook and cranny. Still, it sounds like there's a lot of ground to cover. Sounds kind of tedious, but beats waiting around here for anything actual, I suppose. Exactly. So I was thinking we should go and lend a hand. The sooner we find this beacon, the sooner you can travel to wherever it is this mysterious voice is coming from. And the sooner we can work out how to help our friends. We have to find a way to wake them up, and before the Empire comes calling again, meaning we have no time to lose. There's a boat in North Silvertier waiting to ferry people to the site, so let's be on our way. Here we go. first off, let's get this damn dog off our hotbar, and we go full Shadowbringers. End of the survey site, sir. It's on the eastern shore of the lake, and the swiftest way to get there is by boat. Or I could fly over, but, you know, invisible barrier. That love triangle. We've been keeping some small tab on. I suppose this is a crystal tower proper?
Look how many people there are! Should we get to it then? Pick up anything that seems the least bit device-like, and we'll make ourselves a pile.
Well, if it isn't the hero of the hour, maybe you'll change our look. We've found bugger all without you.
Biggs! Wedge!
Aye, aye. Well, we could hardly say no to a call for aid from the Scions. Jesse called it the chief of some other business, so we'll be working twice as hard to make up for his not being here.
Thrice as hard, even.
Thank you, both of you. I'm sure we'll find that beacon in no time.
It's neat to see everybody pull their hop out of the rising stones and do their part.
I'm not seeing anything out here. Do you reckon you could squeeze in there, Wedge?
And get stuck halfway? No, thank you.
I could try if you like.
Tataru, no! We couldn't ask you to do that.
Oh, I'll be fine. This receptionist is not afraid to get her hands dirty.
Sorry, I meant to say, the scholars haven't finished their preliminary assessment of the site yet, so we're not supposed to venture too far in. What's that you got there?
Well, a cog with an iron.
Now that looks promising.
Isn't that the Ironworks symbol? Counterfeiters?
Now I have you.
You are right.
What's happening?
Stay with me. Focus on my voice. Let expanse contract. Eon become instant.
Wait, this must be it. The device. Oh, this is supposed to happen.
Throw wide the gates that we may pass.
Oh, safe journey, warrior of light. Find our friends and bring them home.
The dawn's light will shine again.
Oh, do not look at me so.
You're slaves to a tyrant! There's no freedom in that!
This is one battle you cannot fight. Away with you! Go!
Spirited accounts of
We did everything right! Everything that was asked of us, and still it came to this!
Your time has not yet come.
From endless dreams I awake. Something vague, yet urgent, calls me to action once more.
Hello, sir.
Rare to meet someone out here who's not a peddler themselves. What brings you into the wilds this time of night?
Excuse me? Night? But it's bright as day.
Well, if it ain't the oldest joke in the book. Me grandad, God's rest his soul, used to tell that one to the barman at kicking out time.
What do you...
And when, pray tell, did we last have a dark night? You rotten old drunk, you, he'd reply.
Yeah.
Over 100 bleeding years ago, that's when.
100 years? It's been like this?
You got that look down to a T. I'd almost think you meant it. Ah, got to you, did they? Poor beggar. That explains it then.
No thanks, I'm good on drinks for life.
Well, I've roads to travel and wares to sell, but you'd best hurry along to the town nearby. Just head east through the trees and aim for the Shining Tower. You'll find the place soon enough. 'Tis the biggest settlement for malms around. Go on now, friend. They'll take good care of you in the Crystarium.
Alright then.
To dizzying heights it rises. The Gleaming Spire. Its tip threatening to pierce the blinding canopy. There, it will all begin anew. Between dark and light. The pure and the corrupt. The one true struggle.
Halt! Every face in this city I know. Yours, I do not. This is the threshold of the Crystarium, stranger, and I am its gatekeeper. If you would enter, you will answer my questions. From where do you hail?
Da?
Do you take me for a fool? No such place exists. Had you given me an honest answer, I would not have barred your way. We care little here for a person's place of origin. But instead, you chose concealment. And I will not suffer you to pass. That one had eaten. It must have gulped down the whole hand, ring and all.
Everything all right, Captain?
Quite all right, my lord. Just a stray sin eater, and a weak one at that.
I see. Weak or not, we should be on the lookout for more. But I see you've met my guest. I will escort him to the Crystarium myself, if you've no objections.
Another of your mysterious friends, is it? I should have known. Very well. I'll inform the others your guest is to be given the run of the city. Pray forgive my less than cordial welcome. May the rest of your stay with us be a pleasant one.
Come with me. I will answer whatever questions you have when we are somewhere more private. Right then, before we plunge into the wheres and wherefores, let me first thank you for answering my summons.
Not like I had a choice.
I had intended to bring you directly to my personal quarters, but I fear my aim was slightly off. That you're still able to make the crossing unharmed is a great relief.
Only slightly off.
And so, we come to the question of where. The realm in which you now find yourself belongs to one of the 13 reflections, or shards. The first, to be precise, even if its inhabitants are largely oblivious to the fact. As to wherefore, having been awarded the rather grandiose title of Crystal Exarch, I, in my capacity as caretaker of the Crystarium, thought to seek the aid of you and your companions.
The other Scions here.
That is a question with no simple answer. But all shall be explained in due course, I promise you. Let us begin with the glaring skies up above. Here in the first, the world has been all but consumed by primordial light. It began a century ago, by this realm's reckoning. A luminous flood swallowing everything in its path. More than 9/10 of this star was lost. And the fortunate few who survived are hounded by abominations born of that catastrophe even now. Sin Eaters, we call them. The creature you saw earlier was one such monstrosity. It was to save the First from this menace that I learned to bridge the rift between worlds. That I might call upon the aid of the greatest of heroes. Though it meant depriving a world of its champion, I had to try, for in saving the First, you would bring salvation to the Source as well. But what manner of host harangues his guests in the middle of the road? Let us continue our talk within the Crystarium.
Such a proud and vibrant city. The sole sanctuary for the living in a world all but resigned to oblivion. Each stone was laid with hope. The town itself a symbol, a monument to defiance in the face of death. No would-be hero could fail to answer its call. For who among us does not yearn for salvation?
Still chills. The First. Apparently saving the First saves the Source, or something or other. And here we are. Welcome, my friend, to the Crystarium. Now, a full and frank discussion in the privacy of my study would seem to be in order. But I think our conversation would be more meaningful way first to gain a firmer grasp of the situation here. To that end, I would like you to visit a few of the Crystarium's civic leaders and glean something of this world and its predicament. As you can see, this path will take you directly to the Aetherite, a convenience with which I am sure you are only too familiar. Being the rightful object of my summoning spell, you should, in theory, be able to reach all the way back along your etheric trail and find a connection in the source, believe it or not. I strongly suggest you complete this attunement before venturing any further. After you have done so, walk up the steps next to the Aetherite and head out to the left to arrive in the crystalline mean. This is where you will find our collective of crafters and gatherers, as well as their spokeswoman, Katniss, one of the people I should like you to meet. Another is Moen. To reach him in his cabinet of curiosity, you'll want to avoid the aforementioned steps, take the exit on the left, and simply continue straight along and down until you come to the large doors at the end of the path. The third and final person I should like you to meet is Bragi, our man in charge of trade and distribution. He is to be found in the markets, which you can access from the opposite side of the Aetherite Plaza. In seeking out each of my colleagues, you will visit the major districts of the city and hopefully gain a feel for the place. I trust my directions were simple enough? Crystal clear. Very good. I could see the layout of the Crystarium owes more to historic necessity than planning, but I'm sure you'll learn its twists and turns before long. In all honesty, the true challenge may be in finding the right way to approach its citizens. As you discovered during your encounter with the captain, the people of this world are unaware of the existence of other stars, and will struggle to accept the truth of your origin. That being the case, when they ask whence you hail, as they inevitably will, I suggest you claim to share a homeland with the Crystal Exarch. There is an unspoken rule here about peering too deeply into that particular mystery. Fair enough. When you finish making the rounds, pray meet me in the large courtyard at the center of town. Until then. How am I going to attune to the Aetherite if I'm already attuned? Also, this place is already cursed. Focusing your senses, you detect the flow of vastly distant currents of ether. Your connection to these energies is faint but stable, and should allow teleportation to Aetherites in the source. Cursed. Forever cursed. What artifact did I pick up in my past to be cursed forever? Excuse me, sir. Are you recently come to the city, perchance? I'm quite familiar with our civic roles, you see, and, well... What I mean to ask is, have you brought any books with you? A rippled scroll, even? A scrap unscribbled on parchment? What? My apologies. Literature is something of an obsession of mine, as well as a profession. Librarian Morin at your service, and this humble collection is known as the Cabinet of Curiosity. As your powers of perception have likely informed you, my colleagues and I are responsible for curating all manner of tomes, documents, and other vehicles for the written word. As horrific as the loss of life and land wrought by the flood unquestionably was, the damage to recorded knowledge was no less catastrophic. We few do all we can to preserve what wisdom survived. But tell me, what brings you to the cabinet today? Looking for any title in particular? Mayhap a spot of academic research? Just here visiting. Aha, so you're an interest in modern history. Splendid! A thorough review of recent events can often yield novel perspectives. I quite agree. If you would prefer something visual to accompany the account, then I think I have an illustrated history book for children somewhere. Just a moment, I'll fetch it for you. And here we are. Would you like to pull up a chair? Make yourself more comfortable? On with you to listen then. I'm ready. 100 years ago, or near enough not to matter, villains known as the Warriors of Light slew the Shadow Keeper, the Steward of Darkness. In the wake of this tainted deed, light began to pour into the world as if from unseen cracks. It pooled and swelled without cease, until the day an enormous, blinding wave rose up and swept across our star. We called this calamity the Flood of Light. Everything it touched was leech of life and vigor, leaving naught behind but a luminous wasteland. Yet just when it seemed that all would be lost, a savior appeared before us. The Oracle of Light. She stood twixt us and approaching doom, and by her power did she stay the flood. Thus was Norvrant, and Norvrant alone, spared the fate of erasure. Tragedy would, however, arrive in another form. From the blasted emptiness descended horrors of strange and terrible aspect to bedevil the few folk who survived. These sin-eaters were light incarnate, and their fulgent presence stole the night from northern sky. Even now they circle the remaining bastions of civilization, ever on the hunt for us, ever hungering for our flesh. Thus did the world become what it is. Should you ever wish to hear the tale again, I would be glad to retell it for you. Or if you would rather I speak of other matters, that too would be my pleasure. I should be glad of the company. We learned about the Flood of Light. Could abuse New Game Plus. Miss Catalyst. Rare to see a place so well stocked with goods, isn't it? But not here. I'm going to guess you're new to our fair city. Well, for what it's worth, you've chosen a fine sanctuary. The Exarch can throw up a barrier if the Sin Eaters come knocking, so it's a damn sight safer in here than it is out there. Safer and more civilized, too, thanks to us in the mean. We work together to procure materials and resources, and craft the goods which make city life possible. This is the place to visit if you need a coat mended or a kettle forged. But don't go thinking it'll all be handed to you on a plate like those Yomorian layabouts. Here in the Crystarium, we work for a living. Though I see you're no stranger to honest labor, you don't have that whiff of indolence about you like some folk I've met. Still, I can't quite pin down your profession. Where is it you're from? I'm from the same land as the Exarch. Well, the Exarch's countrymen, you say? Let's see. Well then, I work twice as hard to make you feel welcome. Our city wouldn't even exist if it weren't for him, and any friend of his is a friend of ours. It's really quite incredible when you think about it. They say his grand magic summoned the Crystal Tower into existence, pulled the entire thing out of thin air. It wasn't long before droves of refugees began congregating around its base, desperate for shelter after losing their homes to the flood. And that's how the Crystarium began. At the Exarch's invitation, buildings started going up, and with the help of some curious relics brought forth from the tower, the place gradually expanded into the thriving metropolis you see today. The city stood here for decades now, yet the eldest among us swear the Exarch looks exactly the same as he did back then. He is indeed a man of many mysteries, but for all his secrecy, he has never yet let us down. So if he and you wish to remain silent about your shared homeland, the folk here will respect your wish for privacy. I am, however, more than a little curious to see any crafting talent you might be hiding. If you fall to contribute on that front, be sure to come back and visit us once you've had your chance to settle in. Just ask for Catalyst, and I'll find you a niche here in the crystalline mead. You can help us keep the cogs of the city greased and turning. We've learned about life in the Crystarium. To the markets. New to the city, friend? And spinning head and wide eyes give you away. Welcome. My name is Bragi, and I'm the master of these markets. They gave the distinct other official title, but I'm not in the habit of using it. Too floored by half. In any case, our merchants stock a range of equipment for humans such as yourself, so finding something in your size shouldn't be a problem. Did you say Humes? Alright, something wrong? Let's see if we can straighten this out. See, there's two in front of us. Shorter one's a Hume, like you. The taller one's an elf. That sturdy individual over there is a Galchant, whilst the one with the horns is a Dron. And then you have the large scaly chaps with long tails and a knack for raising livestock. Those would be the Zun. So not a Malja? And they're friends? What? Which is apparently not the name you know them by. Now I'm curious to know which far-flung region you hail from. From the same lands as the Exarch. Ah, same as the Exarch, eh? Well, that explains it. Oh, excuse me. You don't get much farther flung than that. We've had a few of your lot pass through in recent years, and despite their obvious learning, they floundered over the simplest things. Not to worry. Should you find yourself confused by the local language or customs, I'll be here to answer your questions. Now we know the people of the first, or at least their terms. There's shadow behind me, but I can't tell what. Well, how did you fare? Did my colleagues help you form a clearer picture of this world and its people? Yep. Yes, it seems you were treated to a most thorough introduction. I understand it was something of a chore, but 'twas necessary that you grasp these things before we proceed. As for the Crystal Tower's origin, you may have noted that details were sparse. The structure is, in fact, the self-same one you know from the source, transported to the first in its entirety. It was my first attempt at breaching the boundaries between worlds, something of a trial run for your eventual crossing. And although I do not know which era I tore it from, I do know that its arrival served to set the wheels of fate in motion. So, the self-same one. You've done as I requested, and I learned something of the world in which you find yourself. Now it's time I fulfilled my half of the bargain, and explained what has befallen your comrades. That is a conversation I would rather have in the privacy of my quarters, however. I must go on ahead to the tower and organize a few things, but I shall see that the guard knows to admit you. Just like that. So, Grahatia is in there? I am not familiar with that name. Is there something I should know? Yeah, he went into the Crystal Tower and sealed it from the inside. An extraordinary tale, but I'm afraid I found no such individual residing in the tower when it passed into my care. Mayhap we can revisit that mystery another time. For now, I think it best that we focus on the present. Sir, the exile greets you within. It's a hell of a room you got here.
Welcome to the Ocular, my private study. We can speak here without fear of being overheard. I have much to explain, but the truths which I must touch upon in doing so would cause only distress and confusion to the people of this world. Pray keep that in mind.
Okay.
Now, I am sure you are desperate to know the fate of your fellow Scions.
Absolutely.
To put it simply, they are here in the first. Their arrival, however, was not as recent as you may imagine. Here, time flows at a different pace from that of the source. In the space of a single hour in your home world, an entire year might pass in the first, and the reverse could also be true. The pace fluctuates without rhyme or reason, and it cannot be predicted. That said, we seem to be entering a period of near equivalence. And thus, for the moment, you need not overly concern yourself with the passage of time. As for your companions, however, Yustola and Urianger have dwelt here for 3 winters, all told, while Thancred's count stands at 5.
Jeez.
Even our more recent arrivals, Alphino and Alize, have lived in the first for almost a year. My intention had been to summon only you, but the art of reaching across worlds has proven exceedingly difficult to master. Thus it was that my fumbling hand closed upon those to whom your fate is most closely bound as well. As they were not the object of my summons, their transference was incomplete. Though they may appear to possess corporeal bodies, they are, in truth, merely spirits that one can see and touch. Consequently, while you yourself will be able to pass between worlds with relative freedom, they will not. Much as it grieves me, they are stranded here, unable to return.
What have they been doing this entire time? For 5 years, 3 years, a year?
We spent every waking hour searching for a way to reverse the summoning. In the beginning, at least. As you may have surmised, however, our efforts met with little success. And then we all but abandoned the endeavor once Urianger shared with us the vision he had witnessed during his journey through the rift. In that chaotic no-man's land between realms, time and space warp and blend in unexpected ways. What Urianger saw was the future. That which would one day come to pass. In his vision of tomorrow, the first was rejoined with the source. This collision of worlds brought about the 8th umbral calamity and the deaths of countless multitudes. Amongst those who perished, Urianger clearly saw the fall of the Scion's mightiest champion. He watched you die. And thus did the Scions embrace their exile, and began searching this world for a means to forestall the coming catastrophe in yours. Their souls are stranded in the first, yes, but they have fought on, desperate to save their home and you from destruction. Nor have their efforts been in vain, for it was they who finally established that the elimination of the Sin-Eaters will indeed serve to prevent the calamity. Considering these circumstances of our meeting, you would be forgiven for doubting my version of events. And so, before all else, I would suggest you track down your comrades and hear the tale from their lips. I shall of course be happy to assist in these reunions, and you need not make any decisions regarding your involvement until you are certain of where you stand. Meanwhile, I promise I will not rest until I have found a way to help your friends return home. What say you? Have I earned your trust for the moment, at least?
For the moment.
Excellent. You will not regret this. With that settled, we shall have to see about getting you ready for the road. Traveling across the rift has no doubt left you weary. I will arrange for a room where you might rest in comfort. While it's being prepared, perhaps I can show you around.
So now an actual proper tour of the city? Crystalium boasts a number of residential districts, but I have been informed that a room has just become available at Dependence, which, as it turns out, is perfect. Our path there will take us past the markets, and I was hoping to give you my own introduction to the wares. Come along. I love how the story goes out of its way to explain the little nuances between worlds, to explain why things are the way they are. Instead of just saying, oh well, it just works, shut up. There's actually a reason.
This is the Musica Universalis, the commercial heart of the Crystarium. What you might need to prepare for your journeys can be purchased here. Ah, yes. You must be curious about the currency. Fear not. The gil you carry will serve you well enough.
Oh. Is that a fact?
Each nation once minted its own coins, but was all a jumbled mess following the flood. After much debate, the local merchants eventually elected to revert to the old ways, wherein a coin's value was decided by the worth of its metal. As for a unit of measurement, we agreed upon the term gil, a word borrowed from coins uncovered within the Crystal Tower here. And as our traders peddled their wares across the land, so too did our usage of gil become common practice. From what your stola tells me, a standard coin from the source equates to exactly 1 gil here, or near enough not to matter. Our way of life has benefited greatly from the artifacts we recovered from the tower, some of which may be familiar to you.
Oh no. Tombstones. The grind goes ever on.
But I fear it would not be practical for us to provide everything to which you are accustomed. You shall need a means to access the commodities of your home world. Avan Kerm Sin?
Yes, I'm here. Of course I'm here. What amusements do you have for me today?
Where?
My dear Feo Ul, paragon of pixie kind. For you, I have the most vital task. This fine gentleman is a friend from a distant realm. And we have need of a means to ferry things back and forth from his home. Might you be able to assist us in this matter?
You came from beyond, didn't you? From beyond the rift? How wonderfully exciting! What a brave and reckless and marvelous thing you did! You've the heart of a pixie, you do. After careful consideration, I have decided to grant you my assistance. Make a pact with me and the fun can begin. But answer me this, traveler. Did your garments come with you when you crossed over? Your teeth? Your nails?
Yes.
Just as I thought! Then you've a good stout connection with your home through which all your belongings, great and small, may easily pass. From this moment forth I will be your Isne Fis, and you my Snay Yak. Like the branch which sprouts from the sapling, our bond will flow unbroken from one to the other. Raise your hand.
Okay. I guess we're
done. We are bound now, dearest sapling. Come then. Make your request. Tell me your desire. I wish to visit this world of yours.
Mayhap a message to your friends in the Source to inform them of your safe arrival.
If that's the case, send a message to Tataru. Let her know we made it.
Consider it done.
As you heard, that was Feo Ul of the Pixies. Their kind possess an affinity for magic akin to that of arcane beings. They rarely show themselves in populated areas, but Feo is insatiably curious even by pixie standards, and seems to have taken a liking to the Crystarium. Right, we were going to organize a room for you, weren't we? Come along.
So I'm bound to a pixie. I've struck worse bargains, I suppose, with more questionable individuals. As a result of your pact with Fail Ul, you now have access to Livery Moogles, Market Boys, and Summoning Bells, all in the first. Apparently I dropped 205 frames somewhere. What? Alright. Ah, there you are. I was just finalizing the matter of your accommodation. You'll have a private room here at the Pendants for the duration of your stay, to make use of as you see fit. When you are ready to retire, the manager will show you to your lodgings. Pray, rest and recuperate, and we shall reconvene in the Ocula anon. I believe that covers all the particular concerns. Thank you for answering my call, Linkus. We are denied the comforting blanket of night, but may peaceful dreams attend you nonetheless. A pleasure to meet you, sir, and welcome to your new home at the Pendants. Your room is ready, if you'd care to retire. Alright, we're here. Let's settle in. Armory, glamour dresser, table with munchies. A window. What? Ghost?
I know you. You're the warrior of light from the source.
And you, the warrior of darkness.
What? Did you just... You can hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, gods, how long has it been? That was what I called myself in your world. The Warrior of Darkness. My real name is Ardbert. I used an alias in the source. A daft one, looking back. If you recall my tale, it was my comrades and I who caused the flood. We thought our home doomed. And so we listened to the Ascians. Let them guide us to the source and try to hasten their goddamned ardor. I remember when we fell, defeated by you and yours. I remember our audience with Minfilia, how she listened to our pleas and returned our souls to the first. The flood was poised to swallow Norvrant. Minfilia and my friends, they surrendered what little they had left to hold it back. Just faded away, leaving me to bear witness. Tell me, do you know the year? How much time has passed since we caused the flood?
Everybody says roughly 100 years.
A 100 years. 100 long years.
Imagine wandering for 100 years, no one able to see or hear you.
hands find no purchase. My gestures catch no eye, and my pleas, be they whispered or screamed, reach not a single ear. I am a shade, cursed to do naught but drift. I feel as if I've been walking forever. I hardly noticed when my mind and body began to fray at the edges. Then bang! My senses were sharp again. I felt like a fish being reeled in, and before I knew it, I found myself in this room. Why is it that you can see me? What are you even doing here, come to that?
Crystal Exarch summoned me here because he thinks I can save the first, along with the Scions.
You were summoned to save the first. A waste of time. This world is beyond saving, like those who tried to save it. Muddled as my mind may be, I've not forgotten that. But if fate has brought me to you, the one person in this God's forsaken world who can see and hear me, then perhaps there is a reason I endured. If I can find out why I was left behind, then maybe I can bring this journey of mine to an end. Well, I'll be watching, Warrior of Light. But do me a favor. Be careful out there. This world has had its fill of heroes.
Didn't even bother taking the armor off. Well, by D&D standards, that's one hell of a fatigue penalty you're taking throughout the day. I'm assuming that's still a mechanic. Well, I think with that hell of an introduction, I think it's a good place to take the first break of the day. We come here, world's fucked, its inhabitants probably more so. And now, Ardbert, the Warrior of Darkness, we're apparently the only one who can see and hear him. Why? Who knows? But for now, I'll take my first break of the day, folks. I implore you all to do the same, and I will be right back. Hey folks, we are back. Bit of a more extended break here than usual, sorry. You're cursed. Oh wait, that's too far to the east. I still would like to know when I dropped 205 frames. Granted, it's 0.1%. Ah, yes. Thanks, Tessa. I am a pro streamer. I am the most pro of streamers.
Ah, how did you find your new quarters? I trust you were able to rest.
Shit's haunted, apparently. I had a ghostly visitor. Shit's haunted.
I was not aware the room was haunted, and you were rather tired. Well, should you receive another visitation, be sure to let me know. Now, let us return to the subject of the Scion's whereabouts. This map shows the lands of Norvrand, the only area to be spared the flood of light. The Crystarium is here, in the region known as Lakeland. To the north is the fairy kingdom of Il-Meg. That is where you'll find Urianger. To the east lies the once prosperous civilization of Rak-Tika. Your Stola is stationed there, in the heart of the forest. Alas, neither location can be reached without considerable difficulty. As such, I would suggest you first seek out one of the twins, each of whom is stationed but a short flight from the Crystarium. Alphino is on Calusia, an island off the western shore. It is home to a city called Yulmore, where the rich and privileged while away their days in idleness. For his part in furthering our cause, Alphino journeyed there to meet with the citizenry and forge alliances. From what I hear, he has since kept himself busy gathering information around the main settlement. Alize, meanwhile, traveled south to the arid wastes of Armareng. They lie upon the very edge of the inhabitable world, where the flood of light was halted. Those who dwell there live in constant fear of attack by the Sin-Eaters. In contrast to her brother, Alize felt that her energies would better be spent learning about the enemy, and thus she sells her services as a guard, both to hone her skills and gather information on our foe. So, will it be Calicia or Armareng? It matters not which you choose to visit first. Simply inform me once you've made your decision, and I will see to it that you are provided with a suitable mount. Ah, but you must be wondering about Thancred. He has taken up with a new companion, and is presently engaged as a wandering hunter of Sin-Eaters.
Okay.
Being ever on the move, his whereabouts are often difficult to ascertain, but I am certain your paths will cross ere long.
Alright, so I think Use my phone to flip a coin. Heads Alpha No, tails Alizé. Came up heads, so Alpha No we go. You'll visit Alpha No in Calusia then? Excellent. As I mentioned, your destination is an island off the west coast, so you will need a mount capable of making the journey. Here's a letter of introduction. Present it to Zem Jinmai, the master of beasts at Temenos Rookery, and he will take care of you. When you see Alpha No, be sure to pass on my warmest regards. Face is unknown to me. What business have you at my rookery? Apparently I need a mount to get me across the sea. Somebody excellent with this. Yes, I can provide you with an amaro for passage to Calusia, or pick you out a friendly rope. Not a chocobo? Chocobo? You hail from one of Norvrent's more isolated settlements, perchance. There are a few places where they ride little else. Here at the Crystarium, mounts like that grey fellow over there are far more commonly used. Seeing as you are apparently unaccustomed to riding tomorrow, I think it best I accompany you on this flight myself. Any Zun worthy of the name could do it, of course. The Arxarch sent you to me. Ensuring you arrive safely is my responsibility. Gather your things and meet me at the Amaro launch. One of the junior tamers will attend to you while I ready the mounts. Our lunch. You want to fly tomorrow to Calusia? Well, I suppose if Master Jinmai is going with you. Lay here, please. The Master should be along with the mount shortly. We can now travel to Calusia. Also use the Aether Compass.
The whistling breeze, mute. The pounding surf, frozen. Time itself takes a breath. At light's edge, all is perfectly still. The world captured in a painting, locked in a moment. Music, faint and fleeting, drifts coastward on the lifeless air. And in the distance, beyond the broken earth, a city beckons.
We are arrived. This is the Crack Shell Beach on the eastern coast of Calusia. Should be safe here for the present. Compared to the mainland, Sin Eater attacks are far less prevalent, and the native beasts are not any more dangerous than elsewhere. It is the people you should be wary of. Spy you that city in the distance. It is Yormor, the island's main settlement. It rivals the Crystarium in scale, and was once an ally in our battle against the abominations. For years, the Umur and our lead have fancied themselves the masters of what remains of our broken world. They have gone as far as to offer the leaders of other settlements their protection, if we bend the knee. To say their ideals are questionable would be putting it mildly. The Crystarium is one among many who resist their heavy-handed authority, and while we are not at war, our relationship with Yulmore is strained at best. It may be wise to consider your ties with the Exarch during your stay here, especially in the vicinity of the city. Alright. I'm glad we understand each other. Now, the Exarch has instructed me to divulge a secret that should make finding your friend a good deal easier. Listen closely. Still not sure how I feel about dealing with an Amalja, but... or Zun as they're called here. If you head south along the coast, you will eventually come to a fisherman's shack. A friend of the Crystarium lives there, a man who goes by the name of Eyeboy. Eyeboy keeps an eye on everything that happens in Calusia, and will be able to point you in the right direction. Just hand him a sprig of thyme. That will let him know you can be trusted. Here, this should be enough. Find your friend. I will stay here with the Amara until you are ready to return. Or I can just fly. What'd you after? Fish? Crab? You've got an eel in a bell somewhere, if you have a taste for them. Here's some thyme, my friend. You know, the younger elf lad wears blue. I do love a bit of thyme. Chucking some in the pan and it's like a bloody festival of flavor. What is it I can do for you? Can't say there's been any major upsets to report these last few weeks. Everything I just said. Alphanur, eh? I know the one. A young champion of the downtrodden. Yulmore's richer than all Northern put together. It's a different story for them as live outside the city. Who spend every waking moment just trying to stay alive, which makes your friend's dedication to helping others stand out all the more. I can hazard a guess as to where he is now. Get a message to him. Well, you'll need somewhere quiet to meet, away from prying eyes. Make for Stilltide. That's a fishing village just up the path there. You're looking for a run-down excuse for a tavern the locals call the Leaky Keel. Wait there and I'll see you that Alphino joins you. Thank you, good sir. I'm curious. Nope. Ma'am? It's your first time in a tavern? It's customary to buy a drink if you mean to loiter. What will you be having? Yeah, fuck it. Give me some ale if you got some. Fine choice. What you'll be paying with. Got some gill. Oh no. Those are exotic. Where'd you come by coins like that? I'm sorry, dear. I don't doubt they have value, but I don't have a touchstone to test their purity. I'm not about to go begging for one from the neighbors. We'll just have to come to some other arrangement. Ah, here's an idea. There's a common to the north where we grow our vegetables. But lately the pests have been eating more of them than we have. What do you say to a bit of extermination work? I want you to squash any vermin you find and visit the caretaker and give him an earful from me for sleeping on the job. He'll be in the old silo next to the fence, snoring like as not. Do that for me, and you can laze about here as long as you like. Search the field for vermin. Alrighty, caretaker. Apparently you got your comeuppance. No response. Maybe you need to lock louder. Kick down the damn door. You hear a face squeaking from the room beyond. Time to burst in and save the day, adventurer. No one is home. Judging by the lack of furniture, they haven't been for some time. And all the scraps of vegetables on the floor suggest rats have taken up residence in their absence. Oh, your groundskeeper took the hell off, lady. Welcome back, dear. What did that good-for-nothing caretaker have to say for himself? Well, he didn't say anything because he wasn't there. Gone? Must have left to join the rest of the hopefuls. In Gate Town, outside Yolmore, you don't have a clue what I'm talking about, do you? And there I was, thinking you were another dreamer. Well, never mind all that. Take a seat wherever you like, dear. You've more than earned it. I'll even throw another drink on the house. As long as you don't drug me.
And how is business today, Mistress Theva?
Oh, frenetic. Look, I have a new customer.
I wasn't that far off.
'Tis good to see you, my friend.
Alpha, no?
The barley seeds you wanted. They should produce a better harvest than the last.
What, just like that? Oh, Alfino, you really are a dear. Well, I'd best be tidying up some of those empty shacks before the pests move in. Keep an eye on the place while I'm out, eh?
It seems an age since last we spoke. Not since the prisoner exchange in Doma. And Yotsu. It has been even longer for me, of course, if you count the days I've spent here. But the time has only added to the relief I feel seeing you safe and well.
Me? We're worried about you.
Huh. Alize said much the same thing. I don't think I've ever had such a scolding. But I believe an exchange of news is in order. Come, tell me of your arrival and all that came before.
Well, when you disappeared, the Empire made their move, along with Xenos, or Xenos. And that's basically it.
I see. Both the Exarch and Alize told me what they knew of events,
But I had stubbornly clung on to the hope that all-out war might yet be avoidable. And poor Tataru. She must be sick with worry. We must endeavor to return as soon as we may. It would be nice to bring her good tidings for a change. But before we bid this world farewell, we must first ensure that it is not rejoined to the source. We must prevent the 8th Umbral calamity. Urianger's vision of the future has, I fear, every chance of coming true. By his description, the catalyst for the calamity was a formless and deadly weapon employed by the Garlean Empire. Which can only mean one thing. Black Rose. Gaius was telling you the truth. When we were on the trail of the Ascians, we saw evidence that the gas was being manufactured once more. Gaius was adamant that the project had been scrapped. But so long as there are wars to be waged, there will always be those determined to win by any means. And thus simply destroying the existing stores of Black Rose would do little to alter fate's course. In that sense, our involuntary journey here to the First was something of a boon. Together with the Exarch, we've developed a theory as to how we believe the rejoining will be set in motion. I'm sure Urianger himself will cover the subject in more detail. But I can tell you the process requires that both worlds, the Source and the First, be facing an existential threat. One being Sin Eaters, of course. They are a menace that I would dearly love to remove, and not just to avert a calamity. I may be a stranger to this world, but I will not stand idly by and let innocent people be slaughtered. That is what brought me to the gates of Yulmore. Ignoring its pretensions as a kind of capital city to what remains of the world, it is nonetheless a center of power and authority. If any solutions are to be found, I believe our search should begin there. What say you, old friend? Hungry for another adventure?
Let's go.
And so we take to the road once more.
Assuming you have no objections, let us make our way directly to the city outskirts. If we time our arrival just right, you may be lucky enough to see why I have yet to set foot in Yulmore, despite my best efforts to do so. Come, from here we must head west, and then cross a small bridge. Hey Malfi, slow the hell down. I got flying, but still. Calicia seems peaceful, does it not? Almost familiar? I had a similar impression on the Crystarium. Even in this distant world, people are much the same. I think that whenever a calamity struck the source, a reflection such as this one, with all its culture and history, was being erased from existence. No! Get away from me! Over there! Quickly! Someone's in trouble! Can you talk to her? take the feature! Look out! Damn. A chunky boy perhaps after being 10 levels below the store. Poor heart. Thank you, young sir. Ah, there you are. In my haste, I lost my bearings. But I see you have the situation well in hand. Fine work. Are you all right, madame? Just a few bruises from where I fell. Nothing compared to what was in store for me before this brave soul came to my rescue. I honestly thought I was done for. My feet are not as swift as they once were, and I knew there was no one left to hear me scream. Not that I let that stop me. I should probably leave my old house behind and queue up outside Yulmore with the rest of them. Doubt those fancy lords and ladies would welcome an own crone like me. Still, even a shack near the gate has to be safer than staying here. One would hope. Either way, I suggest you avoid wandering alone, lest you make the senator's task any easier. Thank you again. You saved my life. Now, I'm sure a strapping lad like you has little to fear. I wouldn't linger long in this place. There's naught to be had here but cobwebs and memories. "'Tis as the lady says. Many in these parts have abandoned their homes to live in Yulmore's shadow. Should the Sea Eaters descend upon this region, there are precious few with the strength to fend them off. Speaking of which, what have you been told of these monsters? Such as... A brief history, then. It was not long after the flood swallowed the better part of the world that the Sin Eaters first appeared, some beastly, some beauteous. Yet regardless of their form, all seemed incapable of speech, and all are driven by the same insatiable appetite for mortal ether. They are predators, and we are their prey. Colosia suffers from far fewer attacks in most regions, but even so, the list of the Sin Eaters' victims grows longer by the day. A tragedy without end. Still, we have won a small victory this time at least. Now, shall we press on? We need to return to where the road forks and follow the path that leads west.
That gate up ahead is known as the Open Arms, and Yulmore itself lies beyond. This, meanwhile, is the aptly named Gate Town, the dwelling place of the many desperate souls who hope to be chosen to live in the city proper.
That was me.
Ah, I thought I recognized you. Brought a new friend, eh? I'll bet you got a trick or two up your sleeve. Maybe even 3. Care to show me?
What?
He's not here to compete. Leave him be.
What? I was only making conversation.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please! Greetings to our hopeful petitioners, one and all! Yulmore extends its warmest regards. Let it be known that a lady of distinction wishes to dine on fish divine. We seek a master culinarian who can guarantee seafood perfection. Dazzle the matron with your delicious dishes, and life in the city will be yours to enjoy, even on days when fish is not on the menu! Who among you will answer the call? Name yourself or another. We may not at all.
Fish, is it?
Was there anyone?
What about that girl?
Do you recall how I said Yulmore was a center of power and authority? Well, that is not the only reason for its fame.
Don't look at me, I'd never leveled up culinarian.
It is also known as the City of Final Pleasures. The noble and the wealthy who survived the flood gathered here to live out the rest of their days in decadent abandon. A poor man could sooner pass through the Iron Needle than Yulmore's gates. The only way the common folk can enter this perverted paradise is if they fulfill the whim of one of the privileged. And so they are picked over like market produce.
What a catch! We'll not be throwing this one back. Having seen your all too obvious charms, we welcome you with open arms. Come, join us in the City of Splendor and live out your life in an ecstasy of endeavor. Oh, just look at those expectant faces. What could you possibly be waiting for? Well, what have we here? An extra share of meal to celebrate our newest resident! For you!
Ah, last!
Enjoy!
Thank goodness.
Over here!
Meal is a foodstuff which Yulmore routinely doles out to the people of Gatetown, and apparently a staple for its citizens as well. Many here rely on it to survive in these times of scarcity, yet the whole arrangement just seems...
Wrong.
Well, let's just say it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Ma'am? So that's Yulmore, huh? Now you understand why my attempts to enter the city have thus far come to naught. The dubious privilege of residency must be won via a contest with ever-changing rules. They say this policy has been in place for the last 2 decades, ever since Yormore's current ruler came into power. Yet from what I have seen, it does more harm than good. Not only does it distract people from our shared struggle against the Sin Eaters, it robs them of their self-sufficiency. I have tried to propose ways they could improve their lot, but my words invariably fall on deaf ears. The attitude is so entrenched now, I worry that... Well, mayhap you should take a turn around Gate Town and judge the situation for yourself. Still here, are you? Can't blame you for wanting a slice of Yormore's pie. If you ask me, you should ditch that sour-faced brat and make a home for yourself here. Gate Town's not much to look at, at least it's safe. The meal is the best thing I've ever tasted. A large pot bubbles over the flame. Pale chunks, meal you realize, float in the otherwise plain broth. Wait, that's seriously a lookout point I haven't gotten yet. Just look at it. Could you imagine a more beautiful city? Every day I dream of the life that waits for me inside those walls. Will they ever pick me? So they are 500% okay with their lot. We've seen what Gate Town has to offer. These people can no longer fend for themselves. They become dependent on handouts of meal and believe Yormore is their answer to all their woes. Yet no matter how I frame my encouragement, they seem unwilling, nay, unable to conceive of any other way of life. You disapprove of Yormore as a whole? It is difficult to make a final judgment without first seeing the city's inner workings. Mayhap it is that uncertainty which always makes me feel so ill at ease here. Not that it matters. However unjust this system seems to me, if these people claim to be content with their lot, it is hardly my place to criticize their choices. But take that elderly lady you rescued. Does it not seem that those who have chosen to forego Yormore's largesse are doomed to suffer for their independence? In the end, they are all but forced to seek refuge in Gate Town. So hamlets and fields across the island are left empty and unattended, hastening the region's descent into ruin. Nay, I am not convinced that Yormore's generosity truly serves the best interests of Calusia's people. I am not so naive as to think there is some miraculous solution to all this, yet I cannot help but frown at the sight of hard-working villagers struggling to survive, even as the chosen few rejoice at being plucked from poverty by the hand of a capricious noble. There has to be a better way. I will not know for sure, however, until I have taken those long-delayed steps through Yulmore's gates. 'Tis fortunate that you arrived when you did, Linkus. I have been working on a scheme to incentate myself into the city, and if all goes to plan, it should soon come to fruition. There is a beast tribe who makes its home in the sea surrounding the island. The Ondo they are called, though you and I know them as Sahagin. For the most part, they keep to themselves in their ocean grottos and rarely have dealing with land dwellers. But as the Taru took great pains to impress upon me during our stay in Kugane, business favors the bold, so I reached out to them. I duly discovered that the Ondo ordinately fond of land-grown produce, fresh fruits in particular. When I offered to produce such goods for them, promised to pay me in pearls. Attractive business venture for any prospective investor, would you not agree? Surely even the most jaded Yulmoran would have time for a merchant who could make pearls from plums and pumpkins. Yes, I've come a long way since my days of buying samurai swords without first negotiating a price. Really? My appointment with the Ondo is due to take place in a few hours. I just need to collect the produce and meet with him on the shore. Might you help me make the exchange? Yeah, sure. Excellent. I shall be glad of your company. First things first, then. We must pay a visit to Marshal Moa, my supplier in right. Come, it is just to the northwest of here. You know, my curiosity's getting the better of me. What happens if I fly up here? It's just nothing. Yeah, I just had to look because my curiosity got the better of me. Don't do it. Fine. Even though it's New Game Plus and I've already opened up the floor. Is there something I can do for you, friend? Good day to you, Marshal Moa. This is my associate, Linkus. We are here to collect the produce I purchased. Yeah? I loaded your lackey up with the goods not long ago. My lackey? I know of no such person. Mr. Lad... Short blue hair? No? He said he'd come on your behalf, and since he seemed to know all the details, I just assumed... confound it. Someone must have been eavesdropping on our conversation. If this charlatan was here not long ago, he cannot have gone far. We should split up and search the area. You find a vantage point on the south side of the town, and I shall take the west. That was easy. It's kind of easy when he's the only thing out there that's moving. Lycus, any sign of him? He's right over there. You have a keen eye. Let us move in before he makes good his escape. You'll take that way, I'll take this way. If he's even paying attention.
There you are. The thief who claimed the harvest on my behalf. Hand it over.
Well, forgive me. I have to get into the city. I have no family and all my friends have already been chosen. No one here gives a damn about me. When the meal gets handed out, I'm lucky if I get a smell of it. No matter what I do, they won't call out my name. I'm so tired, I'm so bloody hungry. I thought maybe I could steal your idea. Get in that way.
What is your name?
Kai Shear.
Tell me then, Kai Shear. Must it be Yulmore or nothing? What of the Christerium? They may not offer charity, but you would be fairly compensated for any work you did.
No, it has to be Yulmore. That's where all my friends are. We made a promise that we'd live together in paradise.
I was to make my deal with the Ondo at the Clave. Listen carefully, and I shall tell you my plans for the business, and how best to arouse the Yulmoran's interest.
You'll give me your place? Just like that?
I'm giving you a chance, nothing more. What comes of it is entirely up to you.
I understand. Oh, thank you, thank you!
You're a lot kinder than I am, Alphino. That's all I'll say.
This was but one path. There will be others. But for young Kai Shear, it was the difference between life and death.
Yes, you get a point.
I do not regret my decision, but I will admit that a part of me wonders if it was for the best. We strive to bring swift salvation to this world, that countless lives might be saved, not least your own. Even if it came at the cost of one man, should I have forged on regardless?
To be fair, that's not really who you are.
I suppose not. Were Estinian here, he would most likely scoff at my soft-heartedness.
Same old Alfino, ever the slave to sentiment.
But I thank you for your kind words nonetheless. Let us see to it that both these stories have a happy ending. Shall we return to Wright then? Is that... I can't be sure, but I think someone's in trouble.
Someone washed up on shore?
Come on, they may need our help.
May need, he says. You okay, buddy? Get tossed from your boat? I should take care of the worst of his injuries. Mercy. Mercy, I beg you. Breathe easy, sir. No harm will come to you here. The poor man is shivering. Pray keep an eye on him while I get a fire going. I thought for certain I was dead. How am I ever to repay this kindness? We'll settle for the tale behind your current predicament. Why don't you begin by telling us your name? Tristal, and I was invited to Yulmore to work as an artist. A wealthy couple took me in to paint pictures for them, but when my style proved contrary to their taste, they just as quickly toughed me out into the street. I was left penniless and patronless, a grave sin in Lord Valtry's city. Within days they had brought me before the man himself, and asked me what I meant to do. Dejected as I was, I told him that I wished to leave. Little did I know how soon he would grant me my wish. They flung me over the balustrade into the goddamned ocean. From up there? How are you not dashed to pieces? Don't ask me. Luck, I suppose. Though if you hadn't found me when you did, it wouldn't have counted for much. Monstrous. And his citizens condone such barbaric punishment. Oh, without a second thought. When Lord Valtry passes judgment, no one so much as blinks, let alone argues. And Yulmore, his word is law. The more I hear about Yulmore, the more determined I am to see what waits within its walls. I shall bend all my thoughts to securing another way into the city. There must be something we can do. But first, we should convey Tristal to the shelter of the village. Fire or no fire, he needs to be out of this chilly coastal air. My way into the city? Well, if an artist just got chucked out of the city, why don't we masquerade as artists and get back in? Assuming they'll look for an artist. Pray accept my deepest gratitude. I owe you both my life. And, if you'll permit me, I will assist you in your attempt to enter Yulmore, insofar as I am able at any rate. To be frank, the thought of sending my saviors to that awful place makes me sick to the stomach. Since it's plain you've set your minds on it, you should take this. It's my favorite paintbrush. Yulmore and the lead are never satisfied until they get exactly what they want. And if I'm not mistaken, the couple I mentioned will be looking for someone to replace me. If you make a show of owning such a well-used brush, you may be able to convince people you have a talent for painting. Are you certain? This is your livelihood. We cannot deprive you of such a treasured possession. I give it gladly after all you've done for me. Besides, I don't think I have the heart to paint anymore. As to what I'll do instead, honestly haven't decided. I shan't stay long in this place, not that city brooding over me. Nay, I'll move on to new lands and a new profession. I'll keep you in my prayers from now until my dying day. They say kindness is its own reward, but Tristel has repaid us with a gift as timely as it was unexpected. We will, however, need to act upon his advice before another painter steps in to fill the vacancy. Thankfully, I do have some modest skill with a brush. Nothing approaching that of a true artist, of course. Enough to play the role, I would hope. As for you... Well, if you don't mind taking a subordinate role, mayhap you could pose as my assistant. If it works. Then it is settled. All we need to do now is return to Gate Town and await the next appearance of those vile jesters. I know this flying mount didn't just jump. Here they come. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention once more. What a day it's been for the folks at our door. We welcomed a peddler who made pearls from a plum, and now we've a place for a painter of a plum. So come along and don't be slow. It's time to let your colors show. I can paint. Portraits, at least. Landscapes and still lifes are so rarely commissioned these days. I thought I spied some new faces in the crowd. What fortune that you should feel at ease around an easel. What proof have you of your prowess? Any masterpieces on your person? Sadly not. Everything I paint is soon sold. Such is the life of a working artist. I have only my brush to testify for me, though you will note that it has seen no small amount of service. Aha! Flecks of paint, both old and new. A tool much loved and much used. Not a prop to be conjured on the hop. Very well. Come with us, and we'll put those talents to the test. And who is this hanger-on? Well-wisher or parasite? Why, this is my assistant. He whose unfailing support allows my art to flourish. I will go with him, or not at all. Parasite, then. Shall leave his fate in the hands of your new employer. Matters not a whit to us. And having filled our latest vacant space, we retire to Yulmore's sweet embrace. Oh, mercy me. The meal! We almost took our leave without leaving a loving token. We must empty the sacks ere we make our way back. That's our inn.
Redemption is beyond us. The lament of all but saints and fools, and the comfort of the lords and ladies of this accursed place. Once they held fast against the madness, only to embrace the coming cataclysm and delight in the end of days. Perhaps in rapture they seek to lose themselves and the misery they share. Or perhaps for them alone, the promise of eternal pleasure really does hold true.
Welcome, welcome to the city of final pleasures. Feel free to weep at its magnificence. No? Not even a single tear? Moving right along then. Our first task is to register you as residents. You know, make it all nice and official. We'll smooth the way, just so you need to put on your happy faces and head through the joyous hall. The Bureau of Immigration is in the first room on the left side of the passage. Declare your name and occupation in a nice, loud voice. The clerks will tell you where to go from there. Oh, and pay no mind to those folk off to the side of the road. Much like the hopefuls in Gate Town, they haven't earned the right to enter the city proper. If, however, you enjoy basking in the envy of your fellow man, by all means, take your time. But why waste another moment? Go! Enjoy the beginning of your new life in paradise. Bureau of Immigration, was it? I suppose we had better show ourselves willing for the time being. Welcome to you, more fortunate friends. May I have your names? I am Alphino, an artist, and this is Valinkus, my assistant. Yes, I was informed of your imminent arrival. We will forego the usual interview and begin processing your registration papers forthwith. Now, the citizens of Yulmore are divided into two classes. They are the free, who are blessed with the favor of Lord Valthree, and the bonded, who work and employ the free. You will be joining the ranks of the bonded. Your duties are to serve a patron in the capacity for which you are chosen. In your case, painting pretty pictures. Should your patron dismiss you for any reason, you must find another sponsor among the free, or accept work as a general labor. I see. Might you tell us something of the patron we ought to serve? The two patrons, actually. Chai Nuz and Dulia Chai. A mystical couple whom most refer to as the Chais. They are both gentle souls, but I would ask that you conduct yourself with respect and humility, for your own sake as much as theirs. Now, a moment, please, while I complete the Revenant paperwork. All in order. These are your registration documents. Take those papers next door and submit them to the clerk. Once they've been stamped, you will officially be Yulmorn citizens. Enjoy your new life in paradise. Welcome to the Bureau of Registration. Papers, please. Okay. Glory to whatever city was that, I forget, or country. What have we here? Alphino, artist, Linkus, artist assistant, to be employed in the service of Lord Chai Nuz and Lady Dulia Chai. Yes, everything seems to be in order. Your registration is hereby approved. I think it best that we delivered you to Chai residence before... Oh dear. You smell hideous! Did you crawl here through a ditch? It's like an unholy miasma, dust and sweat and the musk of some unwashed beast. Proceed directly to the delusionary next door and scrub yourselves clean. Use whichever showers are free. After you've rinsed away that stench, you'll want to splash yourselves with this perfume liberally. Once you've made yourself presentable, then you may proceed to the Chai residence. Cornan, the guard by the stairs, will give you directions. I hadn't realized we were so aromatic. Yeah, when the hell have we ever taken a shower? You rinse yourself clean in a stream of water. And then the perfume. Apply the perfume as directed, and the delicate scent of roses fills the air. That's a dude taking a shower. Apparently this water's non-existent. Oh, you showered and dressed already, have you? It is not, that is to say, it seems rather exposed for one's ablation, does it not? Hurry up and shower, Stinky. Fine, just a quick rinse then. Well, that was bracing. I believe the lingering smells of the road have been successfully expunged. Shall we go and present ourselves to our new patrons, then? Well, you're going to present yourselves to the Chags, are you? Let me explain how the city is laid out, then. Imagine 3 layers, one on top of the other. This layer here is called a buttress. Above us is the understory. The military has its headquarters. Above that, we've got the canopy, where the free citizens of Yormor spend their days. So if you want to find your new patrons, you'll need to keep climbing until you run out of stairs, then look for the Grand Dame's parlor. It'll be in there, like as not.
Oh, who's this then?
Lord and Lady Chai, pray forgive our intrusion. I am given to understand you were in search of an artist.
Ah, you must be the new,
Oh, goodness me! What an adorable boy! That silken hair, those pearly cheeks, oh, and you even smell wonderful, like a bed of flowers.
I approve of this one, dearest. I am positive he'll paint us the most delightful pictures.
yes. Well, as long as he paints better than that talentless wretch we sent packing last week.
Wonderful, wonderful! Welcome to Yulmore.
Alphino, if it please you, my lady. And this is my assistant.
Your assistant? I've heard of folk bringing in family members, but this seems a bit irregular. Aren't you a little young to have a protege?
We are family in all but name, my lord. Though we share no blood, we have stood by each other through life's many challenges, resolved to prevail together or not at all. Of all people, 'tis he who best understands my work. With his unique insight guiding my hand, the art I create is sure to satisfy your expectations.
You're technically not wrong.
Once the picture has begun, of course, I shall have no need of constant encouragement. And so I wondered, rather than him being in your way, might it then be permissible for my assistant to explore the city he has so longed to see? Out of gratitude for his priceless contribution to my art, I thought it only fair that I make this humble request on his behalf.
Ooh, did you ever hear of such devotion? Of course your assistant must have his wish. He shall be free to roam to his heart's content. His Isn't that right, darling?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course, dearest. Quite right.
Alright, Alfie. What you got planned, buddy? Now if you have the opportunity to experience Yulmore, I suggest you make the most of it. Explore the city, top to bottom. In other words, I would start with the canopy and go from there. Try wandering around the market stalls, mayhap. Some places are usually filled with colorful characters, only too eager to share the local gossip with a friendly visitor. I would appreciate it, of course, if you could share any discoveries with me in turn. We should both learn as much as possible about our new place of residence. Oh, hello there. First register, are we? Seem a little lost. Just arrived here. Oh, 'tis lovely to make your acquaintance. Speaking of acquaintances, you wouldn't happen to run into my attendants on your wanderings, would you? Big, strong lad, long hair tied back. He was escorting me on a shopping errand when I realized I dropped my handkerchief. And now I've been here waiting here all alone while he's been off searching for it. I'm not terribly fond of being alone. If you do see him, I would be obliged if you could pass on this message. Forget the silly handkerchief and return to my side at once. Sir? Wicked white, that was too close. Thank you, Fred. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't come along. I was trying to rescue my lady's handkerchief, you see. Wind must have blown it over the edge, but luckily it caught on to something. I thought if I could just stretch out far enough. You risk your life for a scrap of cloth? It's not just a scrap of cloth. Not if it belongs to her. Whoops. What do you say before that? I would risk my life and more to spare my mistress but a single moment of sadness. Alright, and now, when I first came to Yulmore, I thought only of improving my lot in life. There was so much more to this city than wealth and plenty. There is no war here, no conflict. These residents all treat each other with warmth and respect. My mistress has never been so kind to me, and I can think of no other place in Calusia where I could possibly be happier. Sorry, I must have gotten a bit carried away. I find it hard to stop when I start counting my blessings these days. Please, you should come with me to meet my lady. When she hears of your deed, I'll be witness to her generosity firsthand. She's the one that sent me out to find you. What? Lonely, you say? Curse my clumsy feet! I must return to her immediately. My assistant told me everything. I'm so very grateful you were there to offer your assistance. You value him highly, then. As if he were a member of my own family. When I live the wonderful life and I leave without him, we free citizens owe the bonded our unending gratitude. Mayhap in another society, our different standing would breed prejudice or resentment, but in Yulmore, a most glorious measure is in place to avert such unpleasantness. Part of that measure requires that the free surrender their fortunes. Upon registration, All of our property, financial, intellectual, or otherwise, is given over to the city. In exchange, we are provided with ample funds and commodities to live a life of pampered luxury. Being liberated from the concern of earning coin has an almost miraculous effect on people's outlook. There are no rivals to compete against, only fellow residents with whom to enjoy our tranquil existence. Now, if you'll excuse us, I must see what the markets have to offer as a reward for the return of my handkerchief. Oh, and I've not forgotten you, of course, a courageous messenger turned rescuer. This talk of relying on the bonded, I haven't given a thought as to what your duties might be. I hope I haven't interrupted your work unduly. No, not really. Tour of the city, is it? And you must visit the beehive. It's always buzzing with activity. Local humor. Anyway, a lady by the name of Tista B usually has her seat near the entrance. She will gladly speak with you on any number of topics, assuming you find yourself on her good side. Fun, I didn't want to talk to you anyway. Well, I got one sea poser. Welcome to the beehive, my little drone. Seeking the sting of excitement to liven up your day. I can tell at a glance when folk are new to a happy colony. Just a nervous fluttering, you see. Always gives them away. Want to play some cards to set you at ease, huh? Quick game of high or low. It's simply a matter of guessing who has the bigger hand. If you win, I'll grant you a single favor. Within reason, of course. Interested? Alright, let's do it. Well, good for you. No time like the present, I say. Three cards for you, 3 cards for me. You flip one of yours over, and I flip 2 of mine. Now, what you call? Will your total be higher or lower than mine? Let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 showing, and I have 8. Going with high then. Right, let's see what you got. My cards add up to 16, and you have a total of 19. Congratulations, your guess was right. Usually I could see defeat at this point. What do you say to a rematch? One more win, then we'll talk about that favor. Another match of high or low? Come now, little honeybee. We all need our diversions. That's the spirit. Let me sort out the deck. Best 2 out of 3, huh? 3 cards for you, 3 cards for me. You flip one of yours over, and I flip 2 of mine. That's a toughie. You got 10 showing, and I have 1. Going with low then. Alright, let's see what you got. Cards add up to 14. You have... Of course. Oh dear, looks like this match goes to me. Rigged. That's a definite low. easiest low I've ever seen. Well, well, would you look at that? I think you've got a knack for this, newcomer. Congratulations, victory is yours, as is the prize I promised. Double or nothing? Yeah, I know, Rick. Whisper in my ear then, don't be shy. Tell a little Tista what she can do for you. I'm just exploring. That's all. How delightfully wholesome. But if knowledge is what you want, then that is what you shall have. In my humble estimation, the most wondrous thing about this town is how safe we are from the Sin Eaters. They say Lord Valthree was born in the power to command them, which means to know your more need ever raise a weapon in defense of the city. Was that the kind of thing you wish to know? If your itch still needs scratching, you might get a few words out of Arthur over there. There's naught but that merry sot likes more than the sound of his own voice. Yeah, just like magic. You win game 1, you throw away game 2, and then you come back strong game 3, right? Yeah, but game 2, you're a game up. What are you going to do? Mull to 4 and win? What's that? Do the Yulmo, you say? Oh, you just arrived already. You're looking to peel away the layers of mystery. Oh, I'm all for chatting, but you need to slow down and enjoy life, my friend. Seeing it happen? I know. I've also done it too. I'm pretty sure in an M11 draft up in Little Washington, I mulled to 4 and won. With the old rules. I'll tell you what, you'll hop on stage and give us a dance first, and then we can have a little talk. I don't know if I'm allowed to go up there yet. Someone's G-posing up there. What I will do... hopefully I don't interfere with this person. That's the way, dance like there's no tomorrow. I mean, pretty sure you have this dude over here doing a hell of a better job than I ever will. Whew. Now that was a show. You're welcome to clamber up on stage anytime you like. So, what is it you wanted to ask me? Yeah, something about our fair city. Well, what I can tell you is it wasn't always so peaceful as it is today. The Omoran army may be the very essence of military might, but even our forces saw grievous losses in the war against the Sin Eaters. Things changed for us around 20 years ago now, when the old ruler's son came to power. It's got this way with the Eaters, you see. Turns them docile as household cats. Wouldn't be exaggerating to say they become something of an ally to Yulmore, no longer an enemy to be feared. And yet elsewhere, there are still fools who insist on fighting their losing battles. Ha! A toast to Lord Valthree! So, is an ally to Sin Eaters? Question mark? Oh yeah. Oh, you've returned from your jaunt around the city so soon? You needn't have hurried back. Young Alphino has yet to put brush to canvas. Was that so? One could not rush good art, I'm told. Good artist, apparently. Ah, finally. put together an ensemble out of the garments you chose. Is this satisfactory? Oh, goodness gracious me. That last outfit was precious, but this makes you look positively dashing. Truly you are a handsome boy. However am I to decide? Don't remember this being part of the artistic process. Exactly. The lad is an artist, dearest, not a dress-up doll. It's about time we set him to work for the reason we called him here. Must we? I do love a good painting, but I thought since we were enjoying ourselves so thoroughly... Well, not... That is to say, as long as you... Just make sure you give the lad some time to prepare. We know who'll be upset if he's not ready to paint at a moment's notice. Whatever you say, darling. So shall we pick out some jewelry next? I guess Alpha knows a dress-up doll. Lady Chai has a particular sense of beauty, and apparently that extends to how I should dress whilst painting. But this obsession of hers works in our favor. The time I spend indulging these distractions is time you can use to continue your explorations. For this excursion, I'd like you to delve into the layer below us and sniff out the military headquarters. I'm sure the understory has its own tale to tell. No. Ma'am? Ow, my ankle. Ow, my other ankle. Lamb? What are you crying about? You're one of the bonded, aren't you? Like me? Please, I need your help. My throat, I can't sing anymore. I'm making excuses, but it's just not getting any better. If my patron thinks I'm no use to him, then... I need you to seek out the derelicts to describe my condition to Thorax. There's a list of symptoms and a hunk of meal to pay for his medicines. Please, I have no one else to turn to. Nice soil pots. Now it's up above me. I'm an idiot. Any medicines? Tonics? Potions? I need to see. A cure for an ailing voice, is it? No, no medicine will cure this. Methinks your songbird has a lump in her throat. It must be cut out, excised. Even then the voice may never heal completely. Poor little songbird. Will they kick her from her nest, I wonder? Simply silent her chips. What? Oh, your face! You didn't know? Of the many hopefuls who enter the city, Very few are ever seen to leave, even as corpses. You might see one or two fortunate fools hurled from the balconies, but the rest? Gone. Town of nightmares it is. Not for this ship's rat. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm content to scurry around down here and nibble on the crumbs which fall from the table. This consultation is over. You have my verdict and I have my meal. Good day. Alright then. Mainstay. Did you get my medicine? Sounds like you're fucked, lady. No, so that's it. What am I to do if I can't sing? Ah, there you are, my sweet canary. You've been crying again. Don't tell me your voice is still not on the mend. Oh, generous sir, have mercy. I've done all I can, but even the apothecary said... So you've been suffering all this time? I am sorry, my pet. I hadn't realized your affliction was this grave. But you needn't fret. I'll not reward your hours of trailing by casting you out into the street. You are too kind, sir. And what use am I if I cannot sing? I fear the day I become more burden to you than treasure. I shall have a word with Lord Valthree and arrange for your ascension. In that paradise will reside neither the pang nor illness, will your song ring out clearly once again. Mayhap you think it a step too far. No, you would do that for me? Of course. I would almost wish to hasten you my own ascension, knowing your blessed instrument was waiting there to greet me. Ascension. Something about this. Let's lay low and ask just ascension. I must be a new arrival. Allow me to explain. As all know, the Sin Eaters exist to devour the sinful, but also do they serve to gather the souls of the innocent and shepherd them unto celestial paradise. It is through Lord Valthree that we learn this truth. It is through Lord Valthree's grace that the free people of Yulmar are destined to embrace salvation. We are blessed to spend our days surrounded by love and merriment, until at last we are called to our final rapture. Even a bonded may find a place within that host, should the patrons deem them worthy. Lord Valthree truly is a great man, isn't he? Now, if you'll excuse us, we must be on our way. May you find eternal salvation for the compassion you have shown my precious canary. Something about that doesn't seem right. It's good to see you back. It taking so long I began to worry something had happened. I've begun sketching an outline for the portrait, but nay, the chairs appear otherwise occupied. Will you share what your investigations have gleaned thus far? Apparently, people here get ascended? So, Lord Valthree boasts some manner of influence over the Sin Eaters, does he? It would explain the reverence in which he is held by the citizenry. And as for this ascension, business, I cannot help but be put in mind of that apothecary and his ominous remarks. If so many folk have entered the city over the years, then where do they go? I'll take out my eye off you for one moment, and you're chatting away with that assistant of yours. I assume the outline is done, then? What in the blazes? It's so unflattering. Explain yourself, Alphino. Where's your artistic interpretation? It should evoke images of affluence and nobility and overwhelm the viewer with its boundless beauty. Oh, just you wait, buddy. As somebody that enjoys learning about cults, this is Heaven's Gate sounding, just wait. Lord Chai, you stated that this portrait was to commemorate your anniversary. It was being a joyous reunion. It seemed to me that a realistic portrayal. Realistic? I don't want realism, I want perfection. A spectacle to slacken jaws and weaken knees, to make people cry out in amazement. Now, flesh your blank canvas and... I say, did that come from above? Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. A tale to make you quiver and your noble blood freeze. There was a villain on the loose, set to ruin our fair city. But our Lord has got him now, and his fate will not be pretty. Yes, the hammer of justice is poised to come crashing down, and one and all who'd watch it fall are invited to join his lordship in the offer. Malcontent? How dreadful. And this man is to face sentencing. That's right. In fact, if you're curious, it might be worth you going along for the experience. The offer they mention is part of the Emergent, level above us where Lord Valtteri resides. Ordinarily, you would be barred from entering, but it seems they'll be opening its doors for the next little while. The Crown Lift will take you up there. We had better not dawdle, then. Hope you got a second. You join the crowd up there.
That's him. That's Valtteri. He is attended by sin eaters. But how does he keep them from attacking?
Mercy! Mercy!
By the 12. Kaishia, what happened to you?
Who are these impudent louts?
I do not recall requesting their presence.
Lord Vorthree, what is the meaning of this? Why is this poor man bleeding to death on your floor?
Why? You ask me why? Because criminals must be punished. And this man is guilty of fraud. He came to us claiming to be a man of business. Yet his subsequent conduct has shown him to be anything but. Europe is a city built on love for one's fellow man. Those who have naught to give and live only to take are a blight upon our society! To atone for this crime, I ordered that he fling himself from the balcony. And he had the temerity to weep. Please, my lord, anything but that. What then is a man of mercy to do? But offer the sinner another way to show his contrition.
Another way? Meaning what exactly?
Sin Eaters are part of Yulmore's society, but they must be fed with ether. Living ether. So, I demanded an offering of flesh, carved by his own hand, from his own hide. And still, he could not do as I asked. A wholly unsatisfactory performance.
Tis true that Kaishir won his place here by fraud, but his actions were driven only by desire to share in your paradise. That you would cast him out, I could almost accept, but to humiliate him thus, to demand his very life? Is this truly the way of Yulmore?
Dim, deluded child. Have you ever paused to consider what it takes to maintain such a paradise in this barren, broken world of ours? The guarantee of safety and stability. The knowledge that if one only abides by the rules, one has naught to fear. I alone can offer these things, for I alone can command the Sin Eaters. And thus am I alone the voice of justice, and any who oppose me, villains to be punished.
And people call this paradise.
You were granted a place in my city for a particular skill. What was it?
Painting.
Oh, an artiste! Then you shall paint a picture for me of Yulmore. If I find your art pleasing, then I may excuse this display of insolence. Who gave you permission to tend to that criminal's wounds? I told you to paint me a picture!
What you need is a mirror, not a painting. It will capture the horror I see before me far better than I ever could.
ever get burned so hard you didn't know you got burned?
I think so.
Did that little worm just insult me?
Yeah.
I'll kill them! I'll kill them all! I'll enslave their minds! I'll torment them! Torture them! Then tear out their hearts!
Well, that's what Yulmore is all about then. Forgive me. In my anger, I seem to have marched us back outside again. It was probably best we leave the island altogether. I believe we've worn out our welcome in Yulmore. In any case, I've seen enough of this world's self-proclaimed capital city to convince me that our battle against the Sin Eaters will find few allies in Calusia. I will accompany you back to the Crystarium. We need to regroup and think on our strategy anew. I don't know that one. You'll have to tell me next time, whenever you have more free time. Kaishir, I've done you a grave disservice. You were hungry and desperate, and I offered you a solution without once considering the risk inherent in you accepting it. If I had but known the price you would be made to pay. You gave me everything I need to make your idea work. It was me who made a mess of things, not you. Even after all the trouble I've caused, you still stepped in and saved me. And now Lord Valthree wants us all dead. Why not come back to us to the Crystarium? I am certain we can find work for you there if you are willing. No, that would just be me leaning on your kindness again. I need to do some thinking. Learn how to stand on my own 2 feet. Very well. But you must promise us you'll be careful. Your Morans may yet come looking for us. I'll keep my head down, don't worry. And you take care too. Give me the chance to repay what you've done for me. I can't do his voice. Alpha! Lord and Lady Chai. What in the blazes did you do? They have the entire city looking for you. I took a peek at your unfinished portrait, Alpha now. Now, I've had many a beautiful and striking picture painted for me, but there was something about your work. It was as if you had caught the very essence of our love and rendered it naked upon the canvas. It was bold, unflinching, and I adored it. Please, you must come back with us to finish what you began. I will speak with Lord Valthree and vouch for your character. I'm sure we can smooth over any hard feelings. I am sorry, Lady Chai, but there are more important matters to which I must attend. More important? What could be more important than enjoying the days we have left to us to the fullest? Pray press me no further. We are leaving, but I would not presume to take the garment you were so kind to procure for me. One moment. I wouldn't hear of it. Keep the clothes, you silly boy. I insist. And I shall make arrangements so that you can pass through the gate without causing a stir. I expect you to come and visit. I will return, I promise you that. The outrage I witnessed must not go unanswered. The next time we meet, I shall be better prepared to confront the corruption which hides behind the glittering facade. So yeah, Yulmore's fucked. Thank you, my friend, for staying at my side through this whole sword endeavor. While it's not quite the joyous outcome I had hoped for, our efforts have nevertheless answered a great many questions. Suffice it to say, our plans for saving the First are unlikely to involve the aid of Lord Valthree and his subjects. Come, we must speak with the Exarch and chart a new course. This is far from over. Docile Gate. You have business with Crystal Exarch? Just say the word and I will be happy to escort you to Ocular. Yes, we do. It's good to be back amongst friends. In such company, I can finally turn my thoughts to the future. Ere we discuss all we have learned and begin planning our next step, I think it best that you visit Alice. Her familiarity with Amarang will no doubt provide us invaluable insight. Besides, I know she is as eager to see you as I was. Bring a smile to her face, Linkus. Ready to depart for Amarang? Alize will be overjoyed to see you safe. I know she was particularly concerned for your well-being. She, impressed upon me how regrettable the timing of her summoning was. Repeatedly. I only hope that my part in sending you to her will garner me some measure of forgiveness. Here, this is a letter of introduction addressed to a man named Kassar, a master of a merchant caravan. A few who know the ways of the desert as well as he does. Find him at the Omaro launch, and he will see that you reach your destination. We will do that tomorrow. Oh. This is one hell of an introduction to Shadowbringers and sets the tone. Folks, wherever you're at out there, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. Let's see if anyone else is doing the thing. Oh, excuse me. Are you about to get there? Oh, she's at the final scene. I know, we're waiting. Not edit stream info. I'm sending you over to one Marissa Emma. She is about to get to Shadowbringers if she keeps going forward for another hour or so. She is right at the final cutscene for 4.56. And she is also completely blind, so her reactions are probably a little bit more genuine than mine are. So we're going to go over there. We're going to say hi. I'm going to watch as she gets her mind blown away by probably the same stuff we just saw, but see through a sprout's eyes instead of someone who knows what's about to happen. So once again, folks, did it not go? There it goes. Apparently I messed it up. So anyway, tomorrow, barring anything major, I should be back around 5 o'clock Eastern, we'll go after Alizé and see what entails there. So again, folks, thank you so much for being out here tonight. Really do appreciate it. You folks have a good rest of your Monday or Tuesday, wherever you are in the world. And please stay safe out there. And tomorrow, we continue. Hope to see you folks then. Have a good one.